and suddenly, oh, it's beneath him. You know, it's beneath. It's beneath the president. I bet you if I went back and looked at this guy's content, he's probably called him a fascist. He's probably called him a dictator. He's probably said that he's a rapist. He's probably said all of these things. And so the thing is like, hang on, man. I didn't interrupt you once. Hey, I didn't interrupt you once. It's beneath your station to interrupt me. It's beneath your station to interrupt me, sir. It's beneath your station. So the thing is, it's like
things about me that aren't true.
When I see an imam from San Diego, for example, take a trip to Birmingham in the UK and proudly proclaim on the international stage, rather, the UK will become a Muslim country. America will become a Muslim country.
But why would you give that any thought whatsoever? Why would you give that any credence? So if I came to your beautiful nation tomorrow and stood on your street and said, with my fist held high, this is it, I am now going to conquer America. Honestly, you would take me seriously and see me as a threat. Of course you wouldn't. So why are you taking this individual as somehow gospel and that they must be listened to?
All right, look,
it's feeding into a fear that doesn't exist.
Okay, I'm actually... sorry, Brian, you want to say something? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Pierre. I was just going to say it's interesting that she didn't answer the original question, which was, do you feel Donald Trump has fulfilled his promises? I didn't get an answer from her on that. And I just want to, if I can respond to that real quickly, is the war over in 24 hours? I'm just curious, have prices been plummeting or has inflation been up for the last 5 months? How have those jobs reports been? I'm just wondering, I'm just curious, is there peace in the Middle East? Remember when he said there was peace a few weeks ago and we had a ceasefire deal? I mean, the only promise he really kept was he was going to, pardon a bunch of January 6th insurrectionists, some of whom beat police officers with their own batons. Some of them are back in jail. So I noticed she didn't answer that question. The bottom line is he hasn't fulfilled almost any of his promises. And when things go bad, he insults reporters. When things go bad, he blames Joe Biden. He blames Pete Buttigieg. He blames Barack Obama. He blames George Soros. Well, that's what.
Well, on that point about him insulting reporters, his sort of ongoing battle with the media rages on. I want to play a comment where he actually called a female reporter Piggy. Let's take a listen to this.
There's nothing incriminating in the file, sir.
Brian, what did you feel when you watched that?
I'm absolutely repulsed by that. First of all, he's the president of the United States. To call somebody Miss Piggy, he's supposed to be a leader. He is supposed to lead the way and, in a sense, be a role model to many out there and be professional. You're the president. It's beneath the presidency. Every single time somebody asks Donald Trump a question that he doesn't want to answer, for example, the Epstein files, he asked, who are you with? Where are you from? You're fake news. And then he attacks them and threatens them.
Well, let's take a look at that clip too, because the two go hand in hand in a way. Another female journalist. Let's take a look at that clip from the Oval Office.
It's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. But I guess I turned out to be right.
Now, the White House released a statement saying about the Piggy comment. This reporter behaved in an inappropriate, unprofessional way towards their colleagues on the plane. If you're going to give it, you have to be able to take it. One of the theories behind that statement being that the reason he called her Piggy was she was asking too many questions and was being a greedy pig. He didn't actually say Miss Piggy. Brian, your response to that rationale?
Let me respond to that first, and then the last clip you just played. First of all, even if that was true, which I don't think it was, a president would say, hey, I want to give other people a chance to ask questions, or I have no comment on that.
But Donald Trump's never going to do that. That's not why he got elected.
Because he's repulsive. That's why. Now, going back to that clip that you just played, that reporter asked two very good questions. The Saudi prince was sitting right next to Donald Trump. Our own FBI concluded in an investigation that he was responsible for the murder of an innocent journalist. That's a good question. The second good question she asked, respectfully, by the way, why won't you just release the Epstein files today? Why do you need all these Republicans' approval on it? She asked it respectfully. And even if she was disrespectful, if you don't want to answer the question, then just say, next question. Can you imagine if, I'm going to tell you something, if Joe Biden or Barack Obama called reporters Miss Piggy, or if Barack Obama or Joe Biden, or quite frankly, any Democrat answered a question in that fashion, I'd be calling them out as well. But MAGA Republicans, so many of them don't seem to have any problem with that. It's beneath the presidency.
Okay.
He proves it every single day.
Let me ask Andrew what your thought is of the Piggy comment in particular.
Yeah, who cares? These people call him a fascist. They call him a rapist. They say that he tried to screw his own daughter. They call him every name under the sun. And suddenly, oh, it's beneath him. You know, it's beneath. It's beneath the president. I bet you if I went back and looked at this guy's content, he's probably called him a fascist. He's probably called him a dictator. He's probably said that he's a rapist. He's probably said all of these things. And so the thing is like, hang on, man. I didn't interrupt you once. Hey, I didn't interrupt you once. It's beneath your station to interrupt me. It's beneath your station to interrupt me, sir. It's beneath your station. So the thing is like,
things about me that aren't true.
Can I calm down? Can I at least finish and then you can rebut? So the thing is that they call him everything under the sun, and this guy says one thing crashed anybody, and everybody loses their mind. It's like, these are not good faith actors at all. This guy knows, even if he specifically hasn't, his entire party has been calling this guy a fascist and everything else, and a totalitarian dictator, and saying that he's a rapist, saying that he's a multiple felon, and they do all of this and run these hit pieces on Trump. So, of course, occasionally he gets upset and he says something back, and then suddenly it's like, oh, it's beneath your office. It's not beneath the office of any of these newspapers to consistently bash this guy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
All right, Paula, your response.
I'm slightly confused. Your president is a convicted felon. Am I right about that? And secondly, he was found to have, and I don't want to get this wrong, so Piers, I'm sure you correct me, sexually assaulted a journalist. Was it E.J. Carroll? Again, forgive me if I've got... Yes, thank you. And she won damages for millions and millions of dollars.
In a civil case.
In a civil case, that's right. So a finding was made by 12 of his peers.
Right, but the criminal conviction... Yeah, but Paula, the criminal conviction, just to be clear...
Well, just to be clear,
on the criminal conviction, for example, I do think that was an utter farce.